Let's be frank, if you put the words Game Boy and platformer together, the first thing a lot of people will come up with is 6 golden coins. I'm completely content with that, as Mario's second handheld adventure is well worthy of all the hype and renown associated with it. The first Super Mario Land was your straight-up, left-to-right platformer, but where the sequel shines in its level design is the reduced emphasis on running and jumping. You are still doing that, obviously, but this time it's more focused on exploration, finding the hidden passages and secret rooms. You could make the case that Super Mario World on the SNES did this as well over its older NES brothers, but this aspect was pushed even further on the Game Boy, and it's to the game's credit. We all know how the shadowing of the dot matrix screen could hamper gameplay at times, so having a game that involves stopping and planning careful platforming rather than a gung-ho run and jumper could only be a good thing. That's not the only improvement over the original, of course. Iconic as Super Mario Land 1 was, it wasn't a pretty thing. Mario has basically doubled in height now, as have the enemies and objects. This is 2D Mario looking his 8-bit best. The attention to detail in the animation is wonderful right the way through, and the backgrounds are carefully crafted in such a way as to be easy to see, while still creating a lush, vibrant world, where every stage is different and bursting with life. By 1992, Mario had long since made it. Already the world's most famous video game mascot, our happy little plumber was rolling in fat cash. So much so, he now owns Mario Land, ruling it from a massive great castle at the center of the country. Enter a new antagonist, Maz's childhood rival, Wario. Somehow, Wario has taken over the castle and corrupted the whole kingdom, turning it into his private playground. To get into his castle again, Mario must traverse these 6 different areas, beating one of Wario's minions at the end to obtain one of the golden coins. Grab one and you see it shoot off, lodging in a niche by the front door to the castle. Once all 6 have been found, the door drops open and you can finally return home. There are now another bunch of harder castle stages that lead you to the place where Wario has ensconced himself. Each world has a variety of stages within it, and you can complete any of them in order. You don't have to stick to one world either. If you get to a level that's giving you a lot of trouble, feel free to back out and go try another world. You can even retry levels you've already completed in order to rack up another set of 100 coins, or if you know of places where there are extra lives. There's also a cave where you can gamble your coins for power-ups or lives, so if you're running low on Marios, you always have options. If you manage to ring the bell that's over the exit, you can access a bonus game after the stage to earn some lives too, similar to how there was usually a harder to reach exit in the first Super Mario Land. The game is generous with its lives, but don't think that this makes the game easy. There's still a decent layer of challenge. It might get critiqued from some observers for a lack of difficulty, but that's not really fair. The first Super Mario Land game was definitely too easy, but this one does ramp up the test later on. I think the criticism comes from the fact that all the game is open to you from the start. There's no logical progression through the different worlds, so by necessity they all kind of follow a similar difficulty arc. The first stage in a world eases you in, getting harder as they go along. However, the worlds overall have a similar skill level to them, whereas usually they'd get harder as you got further into the game. Having the majority of the game open to you from the off is quite an unusual but welcome feature of Super Mario Land 2. Each world has their own gimmick, from the low gravity moon levels to the swimming focused turtle zone. There are usually 4 stages, and at the end you'll fight the boss. These range from giant animals like rats and octopuses to a witch, Tatanga, and the 3 little pig heads. You still have to jump on their heads 3 times. Why change such a classic formula? But their movement patterns are incredibly clever and different each time. Executed well enough is the soundtrack. There's a common motif, which is thoroughly stomped into the ground. This 7-note melody is used in practically every mood possible, and while it works as an upbeat sound as well as an ominous one, I do crave a little more variation. Hey, I'm being super nitpicky there, so much so that I'm not even going to dock it a point for that, as the rest of the sound design is basically perfect. There's always debate in Game Boy circles as to which out of Super Mario Land 2, 6 golden coins, Super Mario Land 3, Wario Land, or Wario Land 2 is the best one, but honestly, the arguments are irrelevant and you can keep them. I don't care which is better. We have them all, and they're all utterly phenomenal. You'd be wrong to think otherwise.